Good morning and welcome to another episode of Houston's Hustle Hobbies. This is a show where I talk about all the crazy ways that I make and save money because at the end of the day, hustling is my hobby. That's my shirt. I just got a new hustle jacket. It's beating Goggins. David Goggins. I have a beef with David Goggins because he's awesome. So I'm about to head to the gym. I just got finished a 3-hour lift shift and I wanted to talk about something that doesn't really much have to do with making money, but in a way it does. It has a way to do with saving money and keeping money and ensuring yourself that your money stays with you. And that is risk mitigation. Okay, let me explain. Your vehicle, your chariot, this is your horse. Your horse can never fail. Because if your horse fails, you're out of a job in this business. So because of that, you have to go through certain steps just to insure yourself against anything happening to your vehicle. Now, I read a book called The Art of War, and in The Art of War, they talk about the further you move away from your house, the more it will cost. And if you think about it, that's true. Like, for instance, we'll just use the Lyft analogy. If I were to take a Lyft ride to the airport, that's great. I would have a $30 or $40 ride, a $50 or $60 ride from my house to the airport. And the problem is I have to find a ride back to make that worthwhile. Because while in my Lyft car, I get roughly $1 a mile, and it's nice to make that $35, but then you still have to go back. You don't get any rides back. You only, get that $35 and you've already done 60 or 70 miles. Not to mention going 35 miles on a highway with other cars and other risk, or gas money, or wear and tear on your car. All of these tiny factors add up to big bills in the future. Oil only lasts 3,000 miles, tires only last 50,000 miles, transmissions only last 150,000 miles, engines last 200,000 miles if you're lucky. So real quick, let's run the numbers. If you were driving a regular car with Lyft, you would be driving 150 to 200 miles a day to make a good day's work, to make about $200 to $250. The problem with that is your car will only last 2 years, because 200 miles times 1,000 days is roughly 200,000 miles. So that's the life expectancy of your car if you have a new car, not to mention any maintenance or anything like that. So because of that, you want to stretch your car's mileage out as far as possible and keep your vehicle local to your area. I'm going to say within a 5 to 10 mile radius to mitigate yourself from dangers of other cars and not knowing the road, accidents that can happen from not knowing the road. Now, a few other things are, listen, I can't fight, so I only drive in the daytime, so I don't have to deal with people that are weird, that come in chewing their mouth, the people you pick up from hotels and meth clinics, you know what I'm talking about. I mean them local seedy hotels. Well, I'm in Philly. We're talking about like the Hub or the Roosevelt Hotel, if you know what I'm talking about. Something with a beer store attached. Now, from about 5,000 to 6,000 rides and about 5 years of doing Lyft, I do know that driving in the daytime is generally safer. Driving for 2 to 3 hour blocks with 1 to 2 hour rest in between is the ideal and optimal day, which will ensure that you have the maximum amount of energy and alertness for the way you're driving, and it'll stop you from hating the job, because that's another thing. When you're in business for yourself, you can get caught up in the money really easily and really burn yourself out, and you're not supposed to do that. You cut this up. You are your own boss, so manage your time wisely. That also helps with that risk mitigation, to risk yourself from not doing it because of your own mental stuff, because you burned yourself out. Well, anyway, it's been a while for me. I don't want to lecture too long. Just want to give you a couple quick things in this last minute. I do have my other channel, Houston's Home Automation, where I do most of my work. Things like Wise cameras and stuff like that, on everything on them to make them entertaining, to teach about them, all that stuff. And that's on my YouTube channel, Houston's Home Automation, if I didn't mention that again. And then I have the new channel, Zenith Training Channel. Basically what this is a channel where I'm basically documenting my progress on how to become an Ultraman. And an Ultraman is basically a person who can run a marathon or the distance of a marathon and then some. So an ultra marathon is something like 50 kilometers or 31 miles. Some of them even going for days at a time. So that's what I'm training for, that, and hopefully a triathlon if I can get over my fear of swimming. Anyway, Houston's Hustle Hobbies, it's been great to see you guys again. I've been a little bit busy running around. I do have 3 of these daggone YouTube channels and a bunch more jobs. Anyway, thanks for listening to me again. Live high, live mighty, live righteously. Take it easy.